Welcome to the Workplace Ninja Summit 2022 podcast, a live recording directly from Lucerne with interesting topics.
And there are we again with a full table of people on the Workplace Ninja Summit 2022. So nice to have you guys. My name is Frans Oudendorp. And who have I here on the table?
Hi, my name is Alex. I am Ninja Cat, I guess.
Ninja Cat, security dude.
Security dude, yeah.
I saw somewhere. And Gianni?
I'm Gianni Castaldi. I'm also a Ninja Cat doing Microsoft security and making the world a safer place.
Buongiorno.
He's wearing a black hat shirt. No, blue hat.
Blue hat,
right?
yeah.
Blue hat. It was in Israel, I think.
Yeah, February.
And we have another Alex.
Yeah, my name is Alex Verboon. I'm also a Ninja Cat and doing similar stuff like the other two.
Nice. And what do we talk about? There were a few sessions. Alex Verboon and Gianni, you gave a session. What was that all about?
Yeah, we continued our KQL evangelizing mission because we believe KQL has become an important tool like PowerShell that everyone who is dealing with Microsoft technologies, be it with Intune, security, endpoint management, KQL can help you to achieve your daily tasks. And so we did I think we did a good practical demonstration on how to use KQL and did some live demos.
Yeah, it was really cool. We did some demos on some new operators. A lot of blogging material which we can still work on, or for the KQL Cafe. And then the other session which I did was stopping human-operated ransomware with the Microsoft Security Stack, where I showed how you can use the Microsoft E5 suite or the components of it to prevent human-operated ransomware from the initial compromise, that you can monitor for instance, the scanning of your firewall until the extraction of the NTS.dit file, and also the exfiltration of data, which you can also monitor, and everything in between.
Alex, you was one of the speaker organizers, especially for the security track here on Workplace Ninjas. How difficult was it to have security sessions related to workplace?
Yeah, it was challenging, but also I think we're feeding from a very good MVP community and also some experts that present here that have a connection to either one of the organizers or also to the people that kind of were owners of the track. So it was okay from that perspective, but it was really tough to really set the topics more or less more than at least 6 months before the actual event happens, to kind of foresee what is really driving people's mind. 6 months ago we all haven't had that awful situation with Russia and Ukraine, and that changed a lot, especially in the security area, and also in affecting how workplace focused topics kind of drive IT leads or CISOs these days.
Yeah, how was that for you guys? You send out an approve of an session to get a session here. Was it challenging to get the right topic for your presentation to be on stage here?
It depends, in the end we all have our own specialization, so we can all tell the stories, we all have our stories, we all have our own expertise, but finding ways to inspire the viewers, I think for me that was the most important part. How can you inspire someone to use KQL or use the E5 security stack, to use Defender for endpoint, use Defender for identity, use Defender for cloud apps, and Sentinel, of course, so that you can make your company safer. And then you have to think from how can we make slides, design your talk, so that people will get inspired. That's the challenge.
Yeah, and you both have KQL Cafe. Well, it's a community initiative around KQL. So you both delivered a session about KQL. Is it well used already? Besides the security people like analysts and consultants that are using it in a normal day job. But is it already used within companies that are smaller, bigger, or whatever, Alex?
I do see some traction. I mean, for the security people, there's no way around. I mean, you come across KQL in event, in any case. But on the workplace side, yes, I believe, because people want dashboards. And if you want to have dashboards, you create them with workbooks. And then if you want to create workbooks, you ultimately use KQL behind there. And I already had customers that wanted to have a dashboard for in-tune wipe activities and that sort of things. And I believe it's gaining traction. And as I highlighted in our talk, I mean, PowerShell was launched around 2006. I mean, how many years did it actually took until PowerShell was more widely used than just the Exchange admins and the Active Directory guys? I mean, in my view, it took at least 6 years until you could say, that more or less everyone in some way has had an interaction with PowerShell. And I believe the same will happen for KQL.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's fair to say that PowerShell had as you just pointed out, quite hard adoption in a sense of took several years. And KQL is a bit more limited to the people or the group of people that really need to work with it day by day, right? So, and this is also how Microsoft designed the product. A first level security analyst would not necessarily really be the person that is able to build advanced KQL queries, rather than having some list of queries that he or she would use within their day-to-day operations.
What are your opinion about the guided experience for threat hunting? Because I think that helps probably customers who are not directly involved with KQL but can do stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a good vehicle, especially with Nama, who was presenting together with Pavel. They presented this new feature coming up, and I liked it very much because it, like you said, it helps accelerate the first steps of learning KQL, but doesn't necessarily take away the need to sit down and do it till you really know your stuff. It is the same. I always compare it to learning a language, right? So you have to learn the vocabulary, like the light vocabulary first, and then you use basic grammar. You build sentences like "I go to the bakery store" or whatever. This is exactly how you search for IP addresses and whatnot. And then within your day-to-day operations, really working with this language, then you get the skills on not necessarily fluent, but you know how to put in the pieces that you get out what you need or what you're looking for.
Yeah, you still need to educate people, Gianni.
Yeah, you need to educate people. And in the end, you learn it by doing. And the main advantage of the guided hunting is that people are allowed to drag and drop down their required items. And from there you can also switch it around so you can see the actual query. So you can say, hey, okay, so I started with these items. I want to see user and usernames, IP addresses. Okay, I got 1,000 records. So let's filter it out and choose for a certain device name. Maybe we want to see all devices start with laptops. And you already have 3/4 of your query, so it's easy if you see, hey, we need to do a where is to select something. So we can do a where starts with to select where starts with laptop. And that way you can use the guided hunting to improve your own knowledge and also to get a good starting point.
Alex, if you look at KQL, my previous talk with Jan Kettel about log analytics, and he used also KQL within such a reporting and that sort of stuff. But because it's fast, what is for you the biggest enhancement, biggest picture, but the biggest thing for KQL?
Biggest thing.
Okay, next one.
No. The biggest thing is that I can do things that I usually did maybe with other tools, that I can now achieve that equally and maybe faster, as you mentioned the word fast, with KQL. To give you a practical example, when I want to data mine my Active Directory, right, I look for certain attributes. I would typically use get AD user. Now, provided that I have Microsoft Defender for Identity, provided I have Microsoft Sentinel, I get also identity information in a KQL environment, and I can very quickly, I would say almost quicker than my PowerShell commands, where I still would have to create filter commands, etc. And here I'm much faster in KQL to pull out information out of currently user objects that live in Active Directory. Their OUE location, their security attributes, that sort of information.
I think not only the pulling out, but also the showing, how, making this information transparent within, the quick adoption into Power BI is one of the major advantages that KQL has, or the plus points, or whatever you want to call it, that you're not only able to, pull information out of a tenant. This is something that we do in IT for many, many years, but also to build highly dynamic Power BI dashboards that you can provide to each and every person in the organization that is interested. No matter if this is the CISO that wants to build a PowerPoint presentation from the past in a modern way and say, hey, this is the dashboard that we're talking through over and over every quarterly meeting where we sit together and reflect or review the KPIs. Now we're doing this in Power BI, which beneath has KQL queries that live pull the data out of the environment. This is amazing.
Yeah. Afterwards, after the sessions, there was also an Ask Me Anything session about XDR. Alex, you have hosted that session, I guess. I saw on the schedule. What were the main questions that people have around the XDR stack of Microsoft?
Yeah, if you have these experts in the house, you definitely need to do Ask Me Anything sessions, and they did really well. We had a lot of, I think it was a fluent conversation with many, many good questions. We tackled different topics from endpoint, which was high demand, I'd say, over to, we brought up the reference architecture, pulled out some pieces, threat intelligence, Defender for external attack surface management, stuff like that. So the new stuff that is, just recently been announced. But also, we were talking about kind of lessons learned. What have we seen, or we, the experts, seen, what people need to address within their organization? Kind of a major, or let's say a quick takeaway from this conference. What can I do if I now return back home and tomorrow have a meeting with my boss? What will be the major 3 topics that I should address from this conference? And here people were explicitly bringing up the ransomware topic, and we didn't only talk tech, which I found personally really amazing, but also we were talking about, hey guys, this is really, not only technology, this is change in an organization, that the organization itself needs to build and establish processes that if it, we all assume in breach, unfortunately, but if shit hits the fan, then, well, what are we going to do?
And Gianni, what was for you the key takeaway in the Ask Me Anything session?
I guess what for me, what I like to see is that if you look back like 2 years ago, people weren't that active with the whole product. So it was installed, it was configured, but now you see that people are actually using the product, using threat and vulnerability management. They are aware of all the new features, they get a feeling with it, they get you can see there's more traction going on, and for me that's a good thing to see because it's an excellent product to work with, but the customers also need to put some effort in it because in the end they will be using it day by day, and from our roles mostly we do the implementations or we do IR, so if customers and people are more working with it, it's for me that's a good thing to see.
Anything to add, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I hear all the time is, we know, but we have no time, and we're so stressed, and push it forward. And what we try to encourage people is, I don't know where the saying is coming from, but there's this thing like, security is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And the key takeaway that we try to deliver, okay, when you look at that Microsoft reference architecture, I mean, it's mind-blowing, and where to start, and what I always try to encourage people and try to deliver that message is, this is not something you have finished in a week, in a month, not even in 2 months. It can easily take a year or two. And if you are in a situation where you still also have to maintain the daily operation of your company, then set your goals that are in line with what you can do, but at least do something, do it in a slower pace. And in the end, I'm confident of my own experience and those of my customers that you can increase your security posture. One does it faster, the other needs more time. In the end, do something, and not just, we have no time at all and then we do nothing. That would be the worst thing.
Yeah. When looking at the conference, it was the first conference, Workplace Ninja Summit conference that was in person, I think. The previous one were virtual. There are thoughts about next year. There is a conference next year. What is the benefit to be finally together with all the people for you?
Like I can see your face.
Finally.
No, I mean, honestly, we had planned a physical in the first year, and then came what everybody knows. So we had to, last minute kind of switch to virtual, which was okay. But, honestly, 4 days, it was, 3 days. 3 days at home, 8 hours in front of your teams, and not even in daily life, we liked that. So I definitely think it was a totally different experience, because it was not only about the sessions, but it's also about the breakout, about the personal interactions. I got to know so many people that you call your friends in Twitter or your followers, but now actually you can give someone a compliment. Hey, like I follow your blog and you wrote that, and that gives so much appreciation, especially for us who try to do something for the community. That's super awesome here. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Good to hear. And probably we will see each other next year, I guess.
Yeah, next year, we hope so. Conference is going to happen next year from the 27th to the 29th of September.
Yep.
The location will be announced shortly.
Within 1.5 hours or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're really looking forward because, like you said, the conference, in my opinion at least, is not about the sessions. It is about the conversations, the stories that people tell, and this is nowhere more possible than it is at a physical conference.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. Isn't it, Gianni?
Yeah, exactly. So I met so many people, but also have some really nice sessions. And if you try to imagine how many knowledge there is at this event, not only by the staff, by the speakers, but also the people are coming in here. They are trying to learn of them, but we are also learning from them. So for me, it was an excellent event.
It's a collaboration, so we have to do it with each other, and that's the case. So many thanks for being here. That was the last recording in the Workplace Ninja Summit podcast series. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. Otherwise, please let me know so what we can improve. So probably we will improve and see each other next year in a new version of Workplace Ninja Summit. Thank you all.